and you got to pay attention to the person in front of you, which allows you a complete roller coaster of emotions. And this is why you get mentally drained every day. Even though you don't write a ticket or you don't do an arrest, you still get mentally drained. I said that yesterday. That didn't go over well with somebody, but they get it. But it's very important that we repeat what is being said in your head. Comprehend the words for true meaning. Now, why do I say this? Because some words can be subjective, couldn't they? So it's always good to ask for clarification if you don't know how they use that word or what their meaning of that word is. Even more important, culture diversity, because different cultures use different words to mean something different. But in short, you want to repeat what is being said in your head, comprehend words for their true meaning. Now, add the body language. We have to. If over 80% of communication is body language, don't we have to add that? We have to. Here it is. Stand with a head tilt. Just a slight head tilt. You do it already. You do it already. Some people are doing it, even holding their head to tilt. You're doing it really good. Not a Scooby-Doo. Not like, but it's a slight head tilt. Body language gives you that. It's very important. Raise the eyebrows. When you guys were coming in, I watched a few people. You seen somebody you knew, you raised your eyebrows. You were happy to see them. The other people, you didn't even have your eyebrows up. It's body language. It's body language. I don't know why, Sharp, but my first class was very traumatic with their body language. At 8 o'clock in the morning.
Because we were all crabby when we got here.
Was it? Boy, were they dramatic. It was good. All right. Every 8 to 10 seconds, look away. How creepy would that be to look at somebody the whole time you're talking to them and never look away? That's creepy. It's really creepy. So I tell people at least look away 8 to 10 seconds. At least 8 to 10 seconds. Now, some barriers to listening. Not talking to somebody, talking over each other, but that one's an easy fix. Implicit or explicit bias. If you have an implicit bias against somebody, is it gonna affect the way you listen? What is an implicit bias? An implicit bias is a bias that you're not aware of. How are you aware of it then, if you're not aware of it? I went over that yesterday. How do you become aware of it? Based on how you feel. I'll give you some of my implicit biases. I got a lot of them. I'll give you two, because we don't have all day. Somebody with long hair and tattoos all over them. I automatically assume he's a drug dealer, motorcycle guy. Somebody who's dressed with their pants down to their knees and their underwear showing. I automatically assume what? He's a thug. Now, if my client fit that implicit bias, could that affect the way I listen to them? Oh, absolutely. I got a lot more. Now, I mention this because if I have a person that fits my implicit bias, that could be a barrier. Explicit biases. These are explicit biases that I'm clearly aware of. I know I have them. I treat people different because of them. But if I'm working, I better have boundaries over each one, because I could lose my job quickly. I'll give you some of I have two that I'll share with you. I have more though. And not one has to do with race. Another explicit bias that explicit bias that I have is if I see a woman who's pregnant and she's smoking, I want to say something bad. But can I if I'm working? Can I treat her different if I don't have boundaries over my explicit bias? There's no question I could, couldn't I? Even my body language could affect that. Another explicit bias I have, I'll be a little vulnerable, like transgender. I was in California doing a talk. This person walks up to me, is about this tall, long blonde hair with breasts, with a deep voice. It affected the way I spoke to her because I have an explicit bias. So I had to stop and be vulnerable and tell her that I have an explicit bias against transgender. It has nothing to do with you. It's a fight that I'm fighting myself. Whether I agree with it or not, I still have to treat you with respect. especially if I'm public speaking and if I'm working. So if I know what my biases are, and a lot of them, you'd be surprised, a lot of people have them, very little have to do with race. Very little. But we have them. Just get to know them. Could language be a barrier? Could language be a barrier? Oh, absolutely. I'm in Texas doing a talk. They call me there. Why? They call me there because they want me to help them teach their employees how to speak Spanish. Hello! How do you think that went over? Not good. Hell no. They come to America, they learn English. We're not going to learn Spanish. So it became a barrier. Here's what I had to tell them. I agree with you, but I'm here for safety reasons. 3 of your employees were assaulted by Spanish-speaking people who didn't speak any English. And they thought you were coming there to turn off their power and a fight ensued. Safety. I don't care. They come to America, they learn English. I'm like, I get it. If it was up to me, they would, because you want something in common with our culture, which is language. Be nice. But how do we force that on somebody? If I'm here, that's illegal. That's a legal thing, right? That's not a language thing. That's a legal thing. So I told them, let's watch this video and see if it'll help you.
Das hier ist mein Sektor. Das hier ist das wichtigste Gerät des Küstenwächters. Das Gerät, das Überlebensradar.
Mayday, mayday. Hello, can you hear us? Can you hear us? Can you... over. We are sinking. We are sinking.
Hello? This is the German Coast Guard.
We're sinking. We're sinking.
What are you thinking about?
Now, we laugh, it's funny, but then I go, wouldn't it be a good idea to learn German if you're going on German waters? For safety reasons? And they're like, I get it now. I said, don't get me wrong, I totally agree with you. They should learn English, but if they don't, then we need to protect ourselves for safety reasons. We have to. And they agreed. And everybody else is teaching it. You have to learn it. I get that you have to tell them that, but you got to give them a reason why. Our brain wants to know why. We don't.
Excuse me, it's man.
That's my implicit bias. Do you remember? You guys seen that one before? Have you seen that one? Oh, I have to show you that one. I had see a few people with a little drama face when they heard that.
Excuse me, it's man. It is man. You need to settle down and mind your business, okay? Man. Once again, man.
I said both of you.
No,
He keeps calling him a sir.
Once again, it's man. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fuck. Store. I need your corporate number now. Get it for me now.
He's a little hypersensitive, right? We talked about that yesterday. Or she. See, I'm telling you, I've got an explicit bias.
Because quite clearly I am not.
And I apologize. I'm sorry for you.
I'm not going to
He keeps calling him sir. Now, the cashier needs to learn that he's got an explicit bias, doesn't he? Why? He's got to know that he has one so he can have boundaries over it. That's all he's got to learn. Could he lose his job over that? Or could they picket the front of the store? Oh my goodness, here we go. Here we go. If someone's hypersensitive, could they be hypersensitive about their race like that? Oh, absolutely. 99% of the time when I teach cultural diversity, it's about them just chilling about their race. Chill. He's so hypersensitive. We have to know that as a barrier. Empathy. Empathy is very important. What is empathy? It's sharing the pain. Do you want to share the pain with someone who feels vulnerable? Absolutely. It could be life-threatening. He could go from difficult to dangerous immediately because you don't care about him. Do we need to show empathy with our loved ones? Of course we do. So empathy is putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? You've always heard that. So men still have a little bit of an issue, so I show them this video to help them. They're going to get empathy with a bowling ball first, and I'm going to show you how to get it with your loved one. You got empathy. You got it. Now, you didn't even feel it, that you felt it, right? So you're sharing the pain with them. Oh, that's gonna hurt. That's what you want. That's what empathy is.
And there's your beautiful baby.
Is this husband? Is this
AJ
husband
now.
showing
Really?
empathy?
You're eating Doritos? He's eating Doritos on my ultrasound. Do you see what I have to do?
I know.
No empathy, is it? Now, absolutely no empathy towards his wife, right? Yeah. Don't tell me if he gets a divorce, he's going to have an easy time at work. All self-induced. Because he has no empathy towards the one that he's supposed to love, right? So then how would he get empathy? Men usually want to escape from it, don't it? We don't want to feel it. In officers' defense, they want to escape from it because look at everything they see all day. So they want to escape from it so it doesn't become emotionally draining. And so they don't lead to vicarious trauma like within 6 months of their job. So they escape from it so they don't want to feel it to be emotionally drained. How could he have gained sympathy or empathy with his wife? How?
Give her a Dorito.
Oh, he gave her a Dorito? She probably threw it right at him. He can self-talk himself into thinking what she's going through. She's laying in bed. I know she's in pain. She's going to have our baby. I know she's vulnerable. He's got it now. That's it. All he had to do was self-talk himself into what she was going through, but we men want to escape. Or we don't want to feel it to protect ourselves. Either one. It's in a roller coaster for police. Sometimes they do, sometimes they can't. But what I teach you guys is how to respond with empathy. If you want to escape from it, that's fine. But now you got to respond so they know that you care. So they don't become a safety risk later on. Very, very important. Any questions about empathy? Being understood and heard is a primary need. Being understood and heard is a primary need. We have social brains. We know that, right? We have social brains, meaning that we feel through conversation. That's why we need to talk, because we feel through conversation. I'll take it one step further. We attach emotions to words, don't we? We attach emotions to words, so we need to talk. We have to be understood and heard. Let somebody talk. Let them vent. Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Just let them talk.
Stop, let me talk. I lightly tapped your arm with my elbow to get your attention. Bam, right in my arm. It actually left a mark for about 20 minutes. About 20 minutes later, it was finally
You're
bang.
picking up. You said you're not the boss of me. I am the boss of you. When a mother says to be quiet, she's the boss of you, and you need to listen to that. Bottom
I
line,
never said.
when a teacher says something, she's the boss of you, and you need
Shut
to listen.
up! Give me a turn to speak. Fine, see? You did it to me. How does it feel? How does it feel to be told to shut up?
We talked about
Let me speak.
Oh,
How does that
hell
feel?
no.
How does that feel?
Do not put your hands up.
Reality show, huh? Did the kid get set up to fail? Of course he did. Who would sit their mom in front, dead front, and cause a confrontation like that? When you interview somebody, damn, you sit in front of them. You want them to sit next to them. Most likely you have a single mother doing what? Love and discipline at the same time. That's not an easy task. That's not an easy task. Her job is to show complete love, even in the face of pain, right? To show love. Even in the face of pain. What is a common factor? You might know this. What is a common factor for serial killers and serial rapists? Anybody know a common factor that they have? The absence of love from their mother. Isn't that crazy? I opened a door for a lady one time. I think it was Arkansas. She got mad because I opened the door for her. I said, ma'am,